Next item is general items. Item number 9, conversion of paperless agendas and purchase of Apple iPods. Terrell.
Well, good evening, Mayor and council members. The item before you is regarding the extension of the city's automated agenda process. Over the last several years, city staff has been implementing in-house improvements and upgrades to the city business processes by using current staff and available technology that incorporates many of the functions of a very expensive package agenda programs that most other cities use. This has increased and improved the public's access to city council meetings and documents, including ADA accessibility, and provides greater transparency in our governmental practices. Going paperless for our in-house developed system did not seem feasible in the past, as the online version of the agenda was just a picture and not interactive or as user-friendly as having a piece of paper to write or take notes on, and probably would not have ended up being used. However, with the availability of the Apple iPad, a system was designed that is user-friendly, easy to maintain, and portable. With this new technology, it will allow council to not need to have paper in front of them in council meetings and make full use of the improved systems that we have developed that is available and offered to the public. For example, this is a screenshot of an agenda page from an iPad, and it will, these little things, little icons, you could highlight, you could write notes, you could circle. So it just works like a piece of paper. So it works that way. Also, for like large maps, like the general plan, which you see like almost every agenda package, you can have the big process, or you can dial down with the same individual map that you can go in smaller. That's just screenshots of what the iPad can do for us. And this is one of the reasons why we're recommending the use of iPads to assist City Council in becoming a sustainable green community and save resources, both environmental and time, that can be accessed by the public, city staff, and council. This is a Kindle, and what it does is it just is a picture. You have to buy special software or have Amazon download the software for you, send the agenda off, and it's not very user-friendly. The agenda is just a picture. It's small, it's hard to maneuver, and it wouldn't end up being used. This is the size of an iPad, which would lay easily on a desk, and you take with you and write your notes on it. I'm happy to answer any questions, and as well as our IT analyst, Brian Hansen, who worked with me on this project, is here as well.
Any questions?
Gil Sizer.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead, and we've got a couple of different speakers here before we bring it back to the council for my comments and our vice mayor's comments and a few others who wish to comment on at that point in time. So the first one I have here is Mr. Don Kessel. Sure.
My questions are answered, and I'll just withdraw my.
Sure. Mr. Seif, if you can go to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Okay, James Seif, 1741 Majorca Drive, Yuba City. Mr. Mayor and fellow council members, I don't think this proposal has been fully thought out. It seems like the IT is skewing the data to justify the purchase of iPads. The stated need for going digital to save money from printing costs, but you print 20 packets for meeting and you want to purchase 8 iPads for stated purposes, read the packets, watch videos of past meetings, and to correspond with the community through email. This still leaves 12 other people who accessed the same packets and other uses through their computers, the same as the rest of the citizens of Yuba City. These 12 other people can print out what they need from their computer, so those printing costs aren't included in your paper usage estimate. The agenda states that there would be 5 IPs for the city council, 2 for the city manager, and 1 for the city clerk. Did each of these offices specifically submit a request for these iPads? Why does the city manager need 2 iPads? Where does the other one go? And will this lead to eventually all department heads having to get these supposedly to save money? I think the analysis for not using a laptop is flawed. I have bought laptop computers but never paid $1,500 for one. There are plenty of laptops that will do the job for do a lot more job and only cost between $500 and $700. You should already have the software licenses for the programs needed on the laptop. The iPad is an entertainment device, not a business tool. The iPad uses a virtual keyboard that is much harder to type on than that of a laptop. The iPad has no USB port or LAN connection. With the iPad, if the Wi-Fi is down, you're down. If you do some work at home and you put it on a USB stick, you can plug it into your laptop at work. All applications for the iPad have to be bought through the iTunes store online. With a laptop, you can download new software or other files in a variety of ways, including the internet and USB ports and secure digital memory card ports and CD or DVD discs. The iPad is a great electronic reader, but for the same money or less, you can get a very good laptop that is way more productive and has easier and better access to software and the internet that would help the council members and staff do their job more productively. We need to look at things very carefully when spending our money during these times. I don't think the purchases of iPads is the answer. Please put more thought into this before spending our money. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Dr. Larry Osren.
Thank you, Mayor Gill, members of the council, for the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm Larry Osran. I live in Northwest Yuba City, and I'm here to speak in support of your staff's recommendation on item 9 to convert meeting materials from paper to digital. And I'm not here specifically to speak to the iPad, but mostly to the concept of moving from paper to digital. Many of you know me as an involved physician in this community, but I've also been a computer professional for 30 years. I've stood before this council several times to support fiscal conservatism, and I believe that this item is an important way to reduce city costs as well as improve efficiencies. I wanted to add some additional information to the public record, which I believe will further justify the value of this item and promote similar future advances to benefit our city. Your staff report shows a high cost of paper, but what is not shown is the high cost of managing that paper. Labor costs associated with printing, distributing, and then disposing of paper are not insignificant, and on their own probably double the cost described in the report. Compare that to the potential future costs of a digital system. I think it's important to first understand that these devices only last about 3 to 5 years. That's their useful life. And so as a result, you do want to look at your return on investment in that 3 to 5 year time span, which staff has appropriately done. But in addition to the capital costs, there are operational costs associated with power, security to minimize risk of loss or risk of damage to the device. When you drop an iPad or a laptop, it's more likely to be damaged than when you drop a stack of paper. However, it's also faster to find the document that you're looking for on an iPad or a laptop than it is inside a very tall stack of paper. The labor involved by you, the members of the council, should be moderately reduced through easier access to the information that you seek, and you may personally find that benefit to be priceless. On balance, I believe that the costs of paper are substantially greater than the costs of digital alternatives, and the digital alternative offers you many new options that are not available with paper, such as the ones that Terrell showed you just moments ago. Many of those will improve your workflow. On a personal note, it's been about 5 years since Mayor Cardicelli implemented the council agenda mailing list that I requested, and I'm glad to see that our city is looking at more technology to improve how our government functions. The one last benefit that I want to relate to you regards social change. Social change, using new tools to accomplish old tasks, is a slow process. The sooner you make one change, the sooner you're ready to make the next change. Adopting this technology brings the city one step closer to our next technological advance. Those incremental technological advances speak to businesses who evaluate the level of sophistication of different potential markets, including our community. And that judgment can also be priceless. I thank you for your time. I encourage you to support staff's recommendation.
Thank you, Dr. Osran. Stephanie, would you like to comment on item number 9? I've got a card here for 9 and 10. You do or you don't?
Not on this.
Okay, the next one, item number 10. Okay. Don, would you like to?
Yes, I have a few.
Sure.
Most of them were covered, but
could state your name and address for the record, Don.
Donald Kessel, 1964 Pebble Beach Drive, Yuba City. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to speak tonight, and I have like to say just a few words and ask a few questions about the recommended iPad purchase. First, I do not think that this is the right fiscal environment to purchase any new equipment that is not absolutely necessary for the health, welfare, and safety of our city citizens. Secondly, the technology of iPods like devices is in its early phases. Several other companies such as Microsoft, HP, are coming out with similar devices this year or early next year. This increased competition will drive down the prices and increase the features found in these devices. From tonight's agenda item, it is difficult to determine how the iPad is to be used, either by the council or the staff. It is also difficult to determine how the iPad would interface with the system producing the agendas. With that being said, I have a few questions to ask of Mrs. Locken. If you bear with me, because my poor old tired eyesight, I got real fine print here. How will these iPads be used? Will the staff download the agenda for each iPad and then give it to the iPad to that user, or will the user carry the iPad with them and then use the iPad remotely through a server? AT&T provides connection services for these iPads at $30 per month. If the device is used remotely, is this cost figured into the total cost? What enterprise funds were used in what sub-accounts to pay the third from these accounts? Some things the iPad doesn't do is it won't run multiple applications. It has no phone. You can't connect it to a printer. There is no USB port or SD card reader unless a kit is purchased at additional cost. All the software is limited to what can be downloaded from an Apple store. If it doesn't have a webcam, so if somebody wants to take a picture out there, if one of you are roaming around and you see something that's important to you, want to take a picture of it on this device, you can't do that. If you want 3G wireless network, you can add $130 to the price. Now, I don't know if that's all been included in it or not, but that's something to look at, because if you start getting used to these iPads and you like them, you're going to be wanting to use them more and more for different things. So you're only looking at a basic cost, I think, here. So you have to look forward to see how much money it's going to cost. I would recommend, if nothing else, you just delay this until a future date, until when the competition catches up, with new technology. Thank you.
Great, thank you. It is, we've kind of have a consensus that we do want to go paperless, and I think one of the things in this recommendation is the approval of purchasing 8 iPods. But what I've also heard tonight is that perhaps we need to take a look at and come back perhaps with a recommendation of what the cost is to do laptops and compare them with the iPads, because this doesn't include the Wi-Fi hookups, doesn't include a lot of the equipment that goes with it. And the other consensus that I've had that I hear is whether it's iPads or whether it's laptops, that as far as the council, we have no problems purchasing our own. Mr. Mayor.